I would put the cup under the thing and press the button. It said Mocha Alert, super caffeine.
Oh gosh.
And that's what I would go for. And I was up early. Some nights we work late. And what I didn't realize was, that 24 ounce of that may have 30 teaspoons of sugar in it. It's the stuff that's, these are the things that you don't get to see the little, ingredients on. It's boom, press that button, it's pouring out, but what you don't realize, it's all sugar coming out of there. And it's, I just thought it was great because it'd give me a quick pick-me-up. And that's where I got it. Now, when we get this, there are choices we make in food, but not just in food, everything in general that can either drain us or energize us. I'm talking, your food, your personal life, your career, things like that nature. If you're in your job and you're sitting there and you're going, what's wrong with me today? I'm eating healthy, I'm exercising. Why am I like this? Well, could it be your surroundings in your office? Maybe you need a plant or two. Maybe you need a little walk or something like that. But that's some things you need to look for. But it's also what you put into your body. The food, the candy, the chips, the fast food, sodas, versus having, leafy greens, water, sweet veggies and fruit, as part of your diet. When you have certain things such as you go into fast food, and I'm guilty. That's what I would do. I would go to fast food. It was the simple thing to do. McDonald's #2 medium with a water. Well, back then it was medium with a Coke, and that's what I would do. It was habit. I knew exactly what I wanted, and I didn't even have to look at the menu. I'm sure when you go there, everybody knows. You go to McDonald's or Burger King or this, you're not even I don't care what the new thing is. This is what I get, and you go. So with that, we talked a little bit about the sugar in that big mocha coffee drink that I get, or used to get. And what that would give me would be the pick-me-up. It wasn't sustained. It was up and then down. So what do you do next? Drink more. And it just kept going. So it was almost getting to an addiction kind of thing at that point. So what is energy? I have to read this because this is actual definitions. From Webster's, it's the capacity for vigorous activity. It's often an exertion of energy and effort. Now with that, you have vitality, which is exuberant physical or mental vigor, capacity for survival or continuation, and power to live or grow. Now, tell me, what would your life be like if you had an abundance of energy?
More productive.
More productive?
More fun.
More fun?
You'd be able to keep up with our kids.
You'd be able to keep up with your kids. That's it. That's the greatness about having abundance of energy. And when I met Jeff, it was, I would come in here, I'd be seeing him at 6 o'clock in the morning. And he's like, boom, out that door. You expect confetti to come out from cannons. And I'm sitting there like, where do you get it? How do you do it? And talking with him and doing what I was doing, it started to all click. And it was all there. Now, there are many factors that can contribute to, our sense of energy and vitality. We're going to talk about 4 common stresses that affect your energy. Chemical, mental, physical, and there's one more, and it is emotional. So when you're talking about chemical stresses, what am I thinking about with chemical stresses?
Hormones.
It could be, but I'm thinking along the lines of, you go to the doctor and your foot hurts or your back hurts, and well, here's a prescription. Where do you pick up your prescriptions? You can get these kind of chemical stresses by taking too many pills, the wrong types of pills, or any for that matter. And we're looking at emotional stress. It could be, a hamster died. Somebody in your family's sick. You had a rough day at work. You had a fight at work with one of your colleagues. Having that emotional stress and getting into it. Mental stress, again, back to work or even at home, sitting in front of that computer, sitting at home, just doing things you shouldn't be doing. It starts to wear on you. You get those mental stresses. And then physical. Physical is injure your ankle, walking, running, whatever. Twist your, Dr. Jeff, pulling a root out of his yard, hurts his back. So he has a physical stress right now. But, for Jeff, he won't go to the doctor and, get a prescription. He'll just get adjusted 4 times a day and go from there and go to his hot yoga tomorrow morning. He'll be all better by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. So that's where we go that. So as we get into this, before I get to the good stuff about eating the good foods for energy, we want to talk a little bit about the foods that are going to decrease your energy. In your daily life, what are some foods that you think that you eat now that is actually decreasing your energy?
Anything with sugar.
Anything with sugar? Okay.
Pretzels. I eat pretzels.
Pretzels. Soft pretzels or
No, crunchy.
the crunchy pretzels?
I switched from potato chips. I thought I was doing a good thing.
Well, I would choose those over potato chips. That's funny, 'cause tonight I was making sweet potato chips in the oven, and I'm 0 for 2 this week on sweet potatoes. The other night I forgot to spray the pan and lost my French fries because they stuck. And then tonight I was making sweet potato chips, and I pulled some out for Tyler for his dinner before he came over here, and they're perfect. I'm like, I'll just put them back in the oven for another couple minutes, get them crispier. Gone, lost them. They're out on the back deck burning. So I'm 0 for 2 on sweet potatoes this week, but I'm going to get them. I'm going to get those guys this week. I'm thinking about things, your caffeine, coffee, soft drinks, alcohol. I'll throw tobacco in there, because it is a plant. So these things are going to help decrease your energy. There are things you don't want to be having. Stimulants, your caffeine, your sugars, things that are going to give you that spike. That you're not, it's going to go up and it's going to come down. It's not going to go like this and sustain. It's just going to be up, down. You're dragging again in an hour. This is a good time of year for that because we just had Halloween. Everybody has candy laying around the house. You pick this, you pick that. I'm guilty. I had 100 grand or 2, the other day, and I felt it. With where I'm at now, I can feel it. I'm really sensitive to it now, and I can feel it go up, and I know when it's coming down, and I know I was just going, why did I do that? But I felt it, and I understood it. Now we're going to get into the foods that are going to increase our energy. The thing that I can't stress enough is buy high quality foods that you can afford. I'm not saying go break the bank on it, but look at organic foods. Look at your locally sourced foods. 'Cause sometimes that could be a little bit tricky, because even sometimes local foods aren't necessarily organic. They might not be traveling far, but this farmer might be using chemicals to make them bigger, better, making an apple that doesn't brown when you bite into it and cut it, all that good stuff. So sometimes you need to look into that, but it's good to look into good locally sourced organic foods. That's huge. So we have to remember that foods are our life force. Good rule of thumb is, if you put it out and it doesn't grow mold, or microorganisms couldn't live on it, it probably isn't good for you. So if you take a piece of cheese off a McDonald's cheeseburger, put it down right here, and then cut a like organic apple or something, put it next to it, and just see what happens. That cheese is going to go into like a little piece of, not even cardboard. In about 2 weeks, you'd be able to smack it on the table and it'd break in a million pieces. Now, how is that good for you? And that apple is going to start growing cool little things on it, and it's going to become a science experiment in your kitchen. Some people are like, ugh, but it's true. And you can see if you have a compost bin, sometimes when you put stuff out there, you can see the difference. Some stuff's breaking down, and other stuff's just kind of sitting there. So you can see those things. Now, I kept talking about sugar and the spike that you're going to get. It's going to go up and down. How do you maintain that level of energy? You want to get into whole foods. Grains, vegetables, and yes, beans. People think, oh, beans, but yes, these are types of things that can help you go like this and get that level of sustained energy. You know, they haven't been processed. Everything's there. You know, look at rice. When you have, you know, if you like Chinese food and you get white rice with your Chinese food, 20 minutes later when you're done, you're going, I'm hungry. Why am I hungry? Well, the meat you got was nothing, and the white rice had everything stripped off of it. There's no nutrients, there's no fiber, there's no bran, there's nothing on there. It's just simple. It's white air is what it is. You know, so 20 minutes later you're hungry because none of the nutrients are there. The vitamins, all that is gone. We're going to look at superfoods. You know, superfoods, leafy greens.
Dan, actually, you look like Superman. That's like a blinking light.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I'm like, you were Superman in yourself.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
So leafy greens, you know, you're looking at, you know, stuff that you normally wouldn't eat, but you're looking at, you know, the kales, collard greens. You know, it's popular down in the southern states, and you see them in the supermarket here. You see a big bag, and you're like, what am I going to do with that? We've tried cooking collard greens, and it's worked once. I'll be trying that again. But we also work in kales. You know, we're working in kale into smoothies now. Since we got our nice new Vitamix, and it actually breaks the stuff down. You know, we put the kale in with our smoothies, and can't even taste it. You know, working spinach in, you know, that kind of stuff. So it's banana, blueberries, strawberries, a little coconut or almond milk, kale, spinach, spin it up, and it's ready to go. You know, the leftover smoothies, you know, we have a 7-year-old. We have the popsicle molds. Pour it in the popsicle molds, put them in the freezer, and you have a, you know, nice little popsicle snack later on. So instead of having Breyer's ice cream with chocolate on top of it and peanuts and this and that, you know, you reach for that smoothie that you had, and it's like, you know, hey, you had the smoothie earlier, you don't even think you had the smoothie, so now you're having a popsicle. So it's that. Now, when we get down to it, how many of you know foods that you are currently eating that you know you shouldn't be eating? And can you even identify them? I see you shaking your head.
Everything.
Everything? What are some examples? You can one or two.
Pop-Tart for breakfast.
Pop-Tart for breakfast, okay.
Lunch is whatever they serve in the cafeteria at
Okay.
work.
Okay. Now, is the cafeteria, would it be similar to what you would see at a school, or do they
Yeah,
have?
it's a school, but
Okay.
I still wouldn't, I mean, I know it meets government regulations, but hot dog and tater tots is not, you know, it's the best lunch.
Yeah, so the one thing, actually, I saw something today. I was reading an article, and it was about, I don't know if you know about Monsanto. Monsanto is a giant global chemical company. They make chemicals for everything from spraying on your lawn to spraying on the food to spraying insects in your house. I mean, they are gigantic. And everybody's on top of Monsanto right now to stop making genetically modified organisms to make their food bigger, better, stronger. What everybody has known is that Barack Obama, just before the election, made Monsanto's former president his director of the FDA, I think it was. And Monsanto just came out with a statement today saying that basically we don't care about you. We care about making money. We'll make our food bigger, better. We'll make beans that aren't going to decompose for 2 years. It's not up to us to regulate. It's up to the FDA. Well, their former president he didn't lose his job. He just left to go be part of Barack's cabinet. So he left his position to become director of the FDA. So you're kind of, you know, so where are we going with this? And, you know, in the long and the short of it, you know, it's less about willpower and more about support. The more support you have in doing this, the better. I mean, I've had a great support system. I've had my wife, my son, I've had Jeff. I've had friends that I met through school. And, you know, my family's been great. You know, it's you know, I think some of the things we eat, you know, are weird from time to time, but you know, we have chia seeds in our smoothies, and people ask me about chia seeds, and I'm like, yeah, chia seeds is exactly what you're thinking. It's that little pig. You put the mud over top of it, you sprinkle seeds, water, and it grows. You know, but they're an excellent source of fiber and protein, and and they make you go. They give you energy. It's what the Incas used to grow so they could run at the high altitudes, and that's where it comes from, up down in the Andes. Am I right? Andes? Yeah, I'm right? Okay. I'm thinking there.
Andes, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, world cultures, right?
Incas, Andes.
Now I have a handout here. I'll go over this. You got it? And we'll go over this handout, and this is really my top 10 ways. It's kind of to increase your energy. It's looking at what we've talked about here tonight in a nutshell. But it also gives you a little handy guide, to go home with and kind of look at it and say, hey, these are helpful hints, and I'm going to try and incorporate one or two here or there. It's not something where go home tonight and clear everything out. It's that could be a little bit overwhelming. It's making conscious choices over time. I started really with introducing water. Well, I used to work on a golf course, and I'd be up at 4. I'd be at work 4:30, and there were some nights, we'd be home 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. I would have a 6-pack of Mountain Dew in my body by 10 o'clock in the morning. And, that's what. It was the only thing we could keep going, because we didn't know if it was Saturday or Sunday or Tuesday or Wednesday. We didn't know we missed Memorial Day or 4th of July picnic. It was, we just had a refrigerator full of Mountain Dew and Coke. And that's what we did. And we just kept going and going and going. Well, now let's get into the top 10 ways. The first one is to reduce or eliminate caffeine. There are ups and downs with caffeine. It can help with dehydration. That's something you don't want. If you want energy, you don't want to be dehydrated. If you're dehydrated, you're going to be, one, thirsty, but also dragging. That's something you don't want to be doing. 2, drink water.
Wait, you gotta go back to
Number 1, okay.
You just can't say reduce or eliminate caffeine and tell me what the substance is.
What's that?
I need something.
Well, you go to number 2.
Oh, okay. I drink so much water. I drink so much water, it's ridiculous.
I was,
We're this close to being right on target here, but we just
That's
don't do
good.
it. We just don't do it. We know it all, we just don't do it.
Well, that's the next step. That's why we're here.
Okay, good.
That's why we're here. So, if you're right there with caffeine, that was huge for me, was kicking caffeine. And, one day, I'll start with...
No interest in kicking caffeine.
Okay.
You gotta tell me, there's gotta be something to wake me up.
Well, then...
Coca-Cola Anonymous.
Now, are you drinking coffee or
Yeah.
Just coffee.
just coffee? Now, how much coffee?
In the morning, I drink a cup, and then I get to work, and I may have 1, 2, 3 cups.
Okay, so it's at work.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so, if we can start, if you have that cup at home,
Yeah.
we can start working back that 1, 2, 3, 4
That
cups at
wouldn't
work.
be too bad to do. I'd be able to cut that down. I can have coffee then. You're saying it's all right.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
What about
Yeah.
One I can do.
Yeah. I mean, if that...
Oh, that's black. Get out of here. That's just black water. You kidding me?
What I did is
Anybody with that stuff.
I would take coffee and mix it with decaf.
That's not
There
bad.
you go.
So I would have half and half. And so I started lowering my dependency on caffeine. And at one point in time, I'd said, I'm just going to stop and see what happens. I was kind of, I smoked cigarettes back in the day too. And I told Molly, I said, well, when you get pregnant, I'll quit smoking. I'm telling you, a week later, she goes, guess what? Like, what? She goes, I'm pregnant. And it's almost like she was working a deal when she already knew something. But that was something different. I made a commitment. I quit. At that moment, done. But with caffeine, it was half and half, and I worked myself out of it. I still do drink coffee. Certainly not as much. Weekends I'll have a cup on. If we're going somewhere, and but I don't have the need to stop at a Wawa or McDonald's or something to pick up a cup of coffee. So it's nice. That's
My own personal battle.
yeah. We'll work on that. We'll get there. The second thing is to drink water. You know, you probably hear it from Dr. Jeff every time he adjusts you. Are you drinking your water? Are you stretching? You know, well, it's the same things over and over. You know, and it's doesn't matter who's talking to you. Jeff, myself, another health person, this person, that person. Are you stretching? Are you exercising? Are you drinking your water? It's those three things are going to stay the same regardless of who you're talking to. Eat dark leafy green vegetables. You know, have salads, big, bold salads. You know, mix them. You know, try stuff. You know, I walk through Whole Foods, and I pick a little leaf and I try it. I pick a little leaf and I try it. You know, because I've not tried all of them, but there's some I don't like. There's some I do. And you know, I didn't like the big giant kale leaves. I thought that was too much. And then Whole Foods started throwing these, you know, like baby kale in there. These are great. You know, they're perfect for, you know, the smoothies. You know, so we work that stuff in. You know, it's having those big green salads. So when I think of lettuce, you know, when does it grow? Spring. It's a time for renewal. You know, it's a time for birth. You know, and it's giving you its energy. And the lettuce leaf is actually sucking in all that sunshine and giving you all that goodness. And it's perfect. It's perfect for the spring energy. Use gentle sweets. You know, start getting the sweeteners out. Your sugars, your sweet and lows, your equals. You know, last time I checked, there wasn't a sweet and low farm. You know, that stuff is produced in a plant to make money. You know, you look at things like, you know, use you know, maple syrup. You know, good maple syrup to an extent. You know, raw honey. I'm still working on my family with raw honey. It's untreated, it's unheated.
AK has legs, literally.
Yeah, it may have
B parts.
It may
Sorry.
have. It says on the label may contain B parts, and it does. But it has all the vitamins, and it is just the nutrients that you get from honey. It's, you know, there's a reason. There's something in there's one part of honey. It's called royal jelly, and it's cost a lot. It costs a pretty penny to buy, but it's what they feed the queen. You don't get it. It goes directly to her to feed her, and you know, it is the quintessential superfood. But you know, you get a little jar, and it costs a lot of money for that jar. But love it. Get physical activity. You know, can't stress this enough, and my wife will tell you, I brag on her from time to time, and you know, especially now that I'm running, but you know, it doesn't have to start. You don't have to go run it. You know, go out and say, I'm going to go run a half marathon in 2 weeks. You know, any physical activity works. You know, if you feel you're lacking energy, like say you're at work and you're sitting at your desk. You know, if you can, stand up, go walk around the building, walk to the corner. You know, go for a short walk, 5-10 minutes, and come back. I tell you what, if you go out and walk for 10 minutes, you're doing more activity than the person sitting on the couch. And when you do something like that, it's something you should feel proud about yourself for, because you got up and you did it and you started getting physical activity into your routine. Get more sleep and relaxation. Absolutely something I have no problem with. You know, we'll go home, I'll put on my pajamas, I'll be ready for bed at 8 o'clock. You know, it's getting him to bed. It's like, all right, come on. You know, and go hop in bed and, you know, get my 8 hours of sleep and, you know, get ready to rock and roll and enjoy the day. It's unbelievably important to get your sleep. Let your body regenerate. You know, you wake up the next morning refreshed, ready for that day. And it's just your body's way of saying, thank you. It's my turn to do what I need to do to make you feel better for the next day. The next one is evaluate the amount of food you actually eat. Guilty. I tend to overeat from time to time. If I'm on a situation where I'm having smoothies and I haven't had I don't know, well, food. I may overeat. And I tell you what, I feel terrible. You know, I get tired. I don't want to do anything, and I know exactly what I did, and it's one of the things that I'm working on eliminating from what I do, is I haven't kicked the idea of I'm eating healthy, and then I get to a point, and then I overeat. You know, it's something I've been working on, I'm trying to get rid of, but it's definitely something, you know, to look at when you're looking to increase your energy. Take time for yourself. You're all doing that right now. You don't realize it. You're taking time for yourself because you want to help yourself become healthy. You see Dr. Jeff, that's taking time for yourself. You know, go get a massage. You know, we talk about this all the time at work, Molly and I do, and we haven't done it, and we have to do it. You know, let's just take 3 hours off work one day. We'll put in a slip, talk to our bosses. We'll go see a movie. We'll go to a matinee at 10:30 matinee, and then either go back to work or, you know, go get a bottle of wine, go home, sit on the back deck. You know, whatever works. But, you know, it would just be an opportunity for us to take our time during the day, you know, what would be a work week, and forget about work for a couple hours. And just go do it. You know, do those types of things. Go, you know, go out apple picking in Highland Orchards. You know, whatever it is that, you know, you enjoy, go do. You know, go to Joseph Anthony Spa on Route 1 and get, you know, half of a day spa. That, you know, whatever is what works for you, do it. Get in touch with your spirituality. Now, I'm not saying, you know, that could be going to church or temple or whatever it might be, but it doesn't have to be just that. When I get up and I go running in the mornings, you know, I have the headphones and the armband and listen to the iPhone. Within 200 feet of my house, I don't hear the music again, really, until I get home. It all goes away. I don't even know why I wear them anymore, but it's only me out there, and I've found that to become a spiritual part of my life, is just myself. It's my time. It's nobody else. Look at surfers. I probably say less than 25% of surfers go to church on Sunday or do this or that, but their spirituality is taken from the ocean. You know, so you can, you know, think outside the box a little bit. It doesn't have to be traditional spirituality. You know, meditation. You know, Dr. Jeff's doing the hot yoga, that type of stuff. And this all-important one, and this is the hardest one for a lot of people, is get rid of relationships that drain you. You know, we all have them, and we've all had them. You know, Molly uses something in her talks. It's the power of 10. You know, it's the 10 people that you are around most is kind of who you are and what your energy is. And if you have people holding you back, sometimes it's best to just let them go. It's hard sometimes. They could be friends. They could be family members. They could be colleagues at work that you've known for years. You know, but if that, you know, say that colleague at work, you know, is saying, hey, Dan, you know, hey, it's Thursday, let's go have some beers. It's Friday, hey, Dan, let's go have some beer. You know, if I'm going this direction and he just wants to keep going this direction, it might be just time for me to say, you know what, got to keep our distance. I can't be around you because this is what's going to happen. That's not the direction I want to go in. And you separate yourself from those people. It's tough. It really is. And we've seen friends come and go, but it's worked out for the best. You know, it's funny. Friends of ours, myself and some friends, we go to Blarney Stone all the time. All the time. Every night, every weekend, Blarney Stone. We knew everybody. And I think I've been in there once in 6 years. Because really, you know, that was not how I wanted to move. I didn't want to be in a bar every night, you know, drinking and this and that. No, I'm done with that. And in all honesty, other than a party 3 years ago, I don't think I've seen any of them since or talked to any of them since. You know, and it's And these are people I was with every day. But it was a good choice to move on. And my mom always says, people come and go from your life. It's picking the right ones to keep. So, you know, with that, you know, thank you for coming. I do have a Facebook page, working on a website. I have many blogs in my head right now that we're trying to get out. We have some videos out on Facebook. And, you know, you're not alone. You know, find that somebody to be with you, to be your accountability partner. You know, talk to Jeff. You know, I have cards up here. You know, like my Facebook page. You know, I'd be happy to chat with you on Facebook and help you through things. You know, have that accountability partner. Don't think you have to go at it alone.